So due to fractional reserve banking and the Fed just printing up money, the system's going to collapse. Is that correct?
That is correct.
It seems like fiat money is just backed by violence. Is there any way to fix the current crooked system?
No.
So cryptocurrency gives sovereignty of money back to people and takes the power away from governments and central banks.
It does.
You're releasing Libra. I just want to know if you can tell me what a cryptocurrency is and what a blockchain is.
I don't know the answer to that exactly off the top of my head either, but that's something that we can follow up with you on.
That's hilarious. Oh, I feel like I should be lower.
Hello there.
My chair.
Hey, Rick.
Hi.
Good to see you over here. All right.
Hey, Rick.
I forgot to send Lisa the link, so I just played some.
Oh, I
videos real
wondered.
quick.
Well, I was trying to like get out of that one and jump over here, so it worked fine because it was there when I came over right away. You're on top of it.
Oh, wait, I forgot to link you. Oh, okay. All right. I liked over there on your channel.
Thank you. I'll
Mine.
go like on yours.
All
We should
right.
like each other.
Well, I do like you very much.
I like you too.
You're one of my
Dad.
favorite people. I love you very much.
I love you too. I'm very grateful you're in my life. I got to tell you, like, if I did not, I'm so grateful my mom, got us into crypto. I'm so grateful that we have this opportunity. If I did not meet all of you guys, I would feel like a crazy person right now. Like with what's going on in the world and then having to like go in the store and there's still people wearing face diapers and,
Did you hear about
and I'm like,
California?
you risked your life. Why are you here? Where was I? I was like at a store that there's really no reason for being there other than something, stupid. Like it's nothing you need. Maybe I was at like
Phil
Dillard's
is a
or
hero.
something.
All right, Phil.
I don't know. And I was like, so you believe that your life is in danger, but you really needed that new pair of shoes. And then who do you think touched it and all that?
In California, they ban masks.
Oh, awesome.
They said, look,
These are
everyone's
making
coming
people
in wearing
sick.
masks and hoodies. They're stealing all our stuff.
Oh,
Even though we hire, he said the police don't care. Police aren't doing anything. You have to have so much information. You have to here's the person, here's their description, here's the picture of them.
yeah.
Then they'll do something. But if not, they won't do anything.
Yep.
So,
And it has to be like more than a certain dollar amount in California for them to care too.
That's so bad.
If it's less than like $900, they're like,
That's a whole conspiracy thing. I think, because I remember in the 80s, things were so terrible when it came to crime, and police were hamstrung. You can just watch old police videos. I mean, old police, cop shows.
mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, we can't do that. Oh, can't do that. Criminals got off for all the technicalities. And now it's completely different. Cops can shoot an unarmed person. That would never happen in the 70s, 80s, even the 90s.
But I thought that the argument was that the reason that Uvalde happened was because the cops are so freaked out that they're going to be sued by someone that they did nothing.
You can't sue cops for nothing.
That's what I heard. I heard that's why, because they get in trouble and they're, facing charges. Like, well, there's a lawsuit on the George Floyd thing.
Yeah. And he had been in trouble, 5, 7 times, 10 times for doing that stuff already. The cops don't get in trouble. And if you're a federal agent, it doesn't matter. You can admit to committing a crime.
That's why Elvis wanted to be a federal agent.
You can't get in trouble. You can't. Because back then I think you could get in trouble. Back in the day, but I mean, you can just go on YouTube and look this stuff up, and there's horror stories. There was this one guy. His ex-girlfriend started dating, a federal agent, and he went and put drugs in his vehicle, came and arrested him, and he got sentenced to, was getting sentenced to prison, and then one of the stores had closed circuit TV, showed the agent going, breaking into the dude's car with a Slim Jim, putting in the drugs into the car, all that. And the guy didn't get in trouble. Nothing happened. The dude didn't go to prison, but he was, but he couldn't do anything. He couldn't sue the guy. He had lost his job. All that. Nothing could happen because the guy was a federal agent, even though he admitted to it. So, but I think they're creating this weird, like, this weird, like dystopian place where finally people get fed up and they lash out, you know, like in California. I think it's going to happen.
You weren't on the wrong stream, Daddy-O. We're being strategic. So we start out on my channel, the first 30 minutes, and then we move over to Sean's channel for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
You were on the right channel. You were in the right place. You did not miss anything.
There's so much stuff. I wanted to talk about some stuff, but what were we just talking about?
We were talking about the police.
No. Oh, no. Here, it's coming back. Oh, yes, I remember. So there's this same group of donuts, one of them, because he's also a gamer. And there's another guy called Batty. They have the Unsubscribe podcast. It's really funny podcast. But anyway, I did have two because Lisa did a 2 stream, and it.
Oh, but I canceled it. It should have.
It didn't.
It didn't.
But anyway, so
Sorry.
There's this big convention, huge, massive convention called I think it's TwitchCon or something. It's for Twitchers. And they put out, hey, this big, this year there's no masks, you don't have to have proof of vaccination, and it's open. And all these people were complaining on Twitter, like, oh, how unsafe! Oh my God, you're risking everyone's life. And I was going to go, but now I'm not going to go. And these are people probably weren't going to go anyway. Just complainers, and then all these people that are Twitchers and gamers said, hey, then just don't go. Why are you like making this huge fit? So after like 2 or 3 weeks, Twitch came out and said, all right, we're going to require vaccination passports. Everyone has to wear a mask and blah 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 blah. So then a lot of people that were like big people that were going to go was like, okay, I'm not going to go.
I was going to say, did they get a bunch of refunds, ask for a bunch of refunds or something?
Yeah, and then people were asking for refunds. And then, all these people were like, started complaining, like, why would you change your mind? Why did you back down from these people? And then all those other people were like, hey, remember when you were just saying, just don't go? Why don't you just don't go? Quit bitching. And they're like, oh no, I'm not bitching because they're doing it. I'm bitching it because they caved to you pussies.
Right.
And I'm also not going.
Which is why I don't give to Leukemia Lymphoma Society anymore. Because they caved to the woke left. And now they don't acknowledge the difference between men and women. They don't have a man and woman of the year anymore. They just have a of the year.
Just charities in general should be blockchain based.
Yeah.
Because they
for transparency.
A lot of them, they're nonprofit or not for profit, but you can spend a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone can buy, have a Land Rover. Everyone can have huge salaries. You could have a convention every month, paid for airfare, first class, all that, all the time. And
that's how all this stuff that churches are doing, I think all that's going to come out too, where they're using, part of the reason churches use big buildings and have a building fund is they live like the elites live, where then they take a loan against their property that's going up in value. Mm-hmm. And then they're always paying their loan back, or no, they never pay their loan back because the value goes up on the property. And if they run out of money to loan, well then, we need to build more building so that mm-hmm. we can take another loan out against the property. So then we don't have any income. We're just taking loans out. like it's very like, I think you'll see they're showing a lot of like Netflix. This one lady that was like had a way down, like if you started feeling hungry, you weren't allowed to eat unless your stomach was literally growling. And if you felt hungry and your stomach wasn't growling, then you were supposed to be praying to God. And then before you know it, she's like dating some Fabio guy and has a jet plane and all this. It was totally crazy.
I remember when I was a kid, my pastor said that God doesn't want you to live in a box. He wants people to be successful. He wants you to be successful. People to see that you're successful. That's important too. But
well, I believe God's like a parent wants for a child. Like,
yeah,
I mean, when I take my kids to have ice cream, it's because I love them and I want them to be happy. And I could give two craps what flavor they choose. I just want you to be happy and I love you and you choose me. And so pick whatever kind of ice cream you want. And I think God kind of thinks of us the same way. And actually, the definition of sin is not God punishing you, but you being without blessing or away from God, that you didn't choose to be near him. So you're like punishing yourself, basically.
I don't know if you remember, but like in the late '80s, there was all this scandal with all the big churches like Jerry Falwell and all that.
Falwell and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like
I think we're going to see something bigger than that.
But it was a really bad time, and
Yeah.
my mom had a big problem with it because it was like, because of course, like the left especially was like, look at all these hypocrites and the 700 Club, and they're all liars, and it's all a big scam, and they're all terrible people, and Christians are awful. And my mom had this like, she said she had like a vision from God because she was having a lot of trouble just dealing with it, and she said that God told her, it's like, who do you think exposed all this?
Right.
Who do you think brought it all out? Don't worry about it. He's like,
Yeah.
these people were doing evil in my name. Like, why would I just let that go on?
Like Jesus flipping the tables, that righteous anger. There's a place for it. And that's, I mean,
Did we talk about that like a week ago or 2 weeks ago?
I don't remember, to be honest.
Do you guys remember if I talked? Because that's a really weird. You're bringing up so much weird stuff, man.
Well,
Why do you think? What do you think he was mad about? Jesus.
That they were using a place that was for people to come and find God, and instead it was being filled with people trading, and so the people trying to find God couldn't get in because it's full of like.
Yeah, oh no, I did talk to you about it. I did tell you about that because you thought it was about the money thing. They were the money.
It is about the money thing.
No,
it's about them selling the stuff.
They were Gentiles, right? And the way the temple was set up, it was in different places, and like Jewish people could go, like the priests could go all the way to this. It was like a tier system where you got closer to God into these different areas.
Okay, yes, and you did tell me this.
Only the priests could go to some part, but this one big open part was where the Gentiles
supposed to be where everyone could go.
Right, and
but it was instead filled up with
no one could get in there to worship God.
Okay,
there was no room.
Well, see, I kind of learned. That was my takeaway from that.
Yeah, so that's what he was. But the only times he really got angry is when people were limiting or stopping people from coming to pray or to worship. That was his like pet peeve of any time that he got really, really mad was because of that. Yeah, I mean, organized religion, it's got good points, it's got bad points, Phil.
Double-edged sword, yeah.
Hey, Mark,
yes, I know I've learned a lot through years
of Canada,
church.
So don't worry about it, but I'm getting it to you.
I'll pay for the shipping.
I was going to tell you about my the hot tub drama. I think it's coming to an end. I was talking to David from the supervisor. And I told you, did I tell you that he said, he's the one that told me, he's like, I don't really see damage in these pictures. I was like, all right, man. I was like, look. So I wrote out a big, long email explaining everything. Sent more pictures of everything melted. And then and then I just called and I just got some lady and she's like, "Oh, you got it and it's not usable? Well, no problem. We should get you a full refund. You're right." And I was like, "Am I in the Twilight Zone? What?" And then she's like, "Okay, hold on. I want to ask my supervisor said because it's $9,000. Okay, we have to he has to approve it." And that's when he sent me the
And
email.
that's when he said no.
So then I was like, "Look, man, I have had this. I waited it's been 8 months before I got here.
Like the epic.
This is 10 months
of the
going
hot
on a
tub
year."
drama.
And then the whole scam was I paid for it through PayPal so that I could get the money. And when I went, PayPal's like, "No, dude, it's over 6 months." And I'm like, "Yeah, but it took 8 months for me to get it. So I've only had it for like weeks." They're like, "Yeah, but it's 8 months from the purchase date." And I'm like, "That's messed up." They're like, "It is what it is."
But so the reason that is, Johnny will tell you when we do our show on Thursday, he talks about that up to 6 months, they can pull back from any account they want.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a bank account and you use a credit card, you have an open back door to your bank account because
Well, that was an interesting way for her to phrase.
Yeah. No, it's true.
You froze. You froze like this. It was fun.
I'll pose every time.
We can pull back for 6 months. Okay, so anyway, then I go back through him, and that's when they sent me the email. They originally sent me emails saying, "Hey, we'll give you 20% refund," and I'm like, "No, that wouldn't be enough to fix this. I'm gonna have to have the whole inside refinished with fiberglass because it's not even fiberglass; it's acrylic, right? I thought it was vinyl. It's not vinyl; it's acrylic." So then I sent this second email, everything out, new pictures. So I call because I hadn't got an email, and then he's like, "Oh, we sent you an email yesterday." I find the email and it says, "Oh, we'll give you a 15% refund." With him on the phone, I'm reading this. I said, "You already offered me a 20% refund. Why would I accept less money?" I was like, "I'm really getting pissed off at you now." And then I'm like, "Look, I bought this. I've waited 8 months. You couldn't even deliver it. I had to pay someone $1,000 just to go to the warehouse to pick it up because you guys wouldn't deliver it because it was so big." I said, "I just need to know if you're going to refund me or if I have to get a lawyer. It's just like over $8,000. I'm not just going to let it go. I'm going to have to do what I want to know. I just want to know." He's like, "Well, hold on, sir. I'm going to have to confer with the people above me and other people and my other supervisors and my," what did he say? It's his not acquaintances, but whatever. So he said he would tell me either the next
colleagues
day
or something,
or by the next day or by Sunday. Sunday, nothing. So Monday, I was like, I got to call him now. I didn't call him yesterday. This morning, I get my phone to call that they would give me like a credit to buy another hot tub, and they don't have one other hot tub in stock now. So I look, they have a hot tub. It's nice, but it's not my hot tub. It's like ridiculous. It's 10 feet. It's like a pool.
It's huge. Yeah,
it's huge. It's 5.5 feet tall.
Yeah.
So I could walk around in it and it's huge.
Yeah.
So they have a regular hot tub, which is a really nice hot tub, but it's also $2,000 less. So then he sent me this email. It's like, "Hey, we'll offer you this hot tub," and it was that hot tub, which is a nice hot tub, but it's a regular hot tub. It's only 3 feet, a little bit over 3 feet tall. It's 80 some inches, so it's a big hot tub, but it's not a ridiculously big hot tub. So I call him and I said, "Look, man, before I talk to you about what I'm going to accept or anything, I just want you to know that I could have bought this hot tub and had it, and I would have paid less money, and I would have had it last year." I said, so let's start off with that. And then I said, "Look, it's a nice hot tub. I wouldn't mind having that as a replacement, but I don't want to wait another 6 or 8 months." And he's like, No. I already checked. We have it to you in 5 days." And I was like, "What?" 5 business days, 2 weeks max. We know that this is already in our U.S. warehouse.
You have to be kidding me.
So I was like, then I look on the website and it says it's sold out. Then I look closer and it's an $11,000 hot tub, but it's on clearance for $6 something. So I'm like, it is nice. So then I'm like, you could have it here in less than 2 weeks. He goes, definitely. And then I think he looked and saw that it was sold out. So he's like, well, let me just double check with the warehouse. But he's really Chinese, so it sounds, with a bad accent. But I don't want to do the accent.
You
So
cannot do that. Yeah.
I said, but this is also cheaper, man. I paid, he goes, I said, you should refund me. He goes, oh, absolutely. We'll refund you the difference and give you this. And I was like, all right. So I'll get back some refund in a hot tub that I didn't want and that's cheaper, but I would be done. I was like, all right, man, that sounds fun if you could do that. So hopefully if we can get to the warehouse.
What are you going to do with the big giant one at your house?
You sound like the boys. It is very big. And if I have enough of a refund, and I'm broke right now. I'm like,
we all are. Yeah.
Limited.
No, I get it.
So I want to get it refinished. And then I would have 2, or maybe use the other one as a pool, or I could sell it, for probably 10 to like someone, one of my rich friends or something. But there's stuff I want to do. Like I wanted to get some land locally, like a few acres, and I was thinking about putting a cabin there.
Oh, cool.
And then I could have one of
when we come down and visit, we can all crash out there.
Yeah.
Have a little Airbnb.
I could always just drop off one of the hot tubs at my son Nick's house. Say, hey, use your hot tub.
Yeah.
He would probably complain though. He would rather complain than just accept it. But I don't know.
I'll have one of those too.
Because I haven't had the luck to do anything. But it should all work. It still has a 3-year. It's another thing. It has a where'd you go? It has a 3-year warranty.
Why do you keep saying where did I go?
The screen went blank. You disappeared for a second.
I'm right here. I can see you, and I'm right here. So,
okay.
And I have not had any glitching or any missing of you.
Hopefully, I will have a hot tub, and then I can jump on you and Clint on Friday when you're by your pool, and I can be in the hot tub.
That would be awesome.
Yeah,
to join us for happy hour. Yeah, we did. I had a poolside on Friday, and Westwood, he was cornside.
Silver Gem said she used to have a jacked up thyroid. I have a jacked up thyroid.
Oh, I did too. But do you know that is normal as you age? Your thyroid changes because that affects your hormones. Like I had this whole education about it with my doctor, and so it's not so much that my thyroid is messed up; it's that I'm almost 50. And I said, well, I don't want my thyroid to be that of a 50-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
So, because
my
your body
mom had thyroid cancer and she had a lot of thyroid problems. But I was like tired all the time.
Oh yeah.
And then I would sleep and I didn't feel rested. I wasn't getting any oxygen. But it was real bad.
Do you have a sleep apnea mask?
Horrible. Yeah, I do now, but before.
Is it a Pfizer one? Because if so, there is a recall on them, and they are causing cancer with the something about the foam on them, and you need to get rid of it or do the recall. There's a recall on them.
I think it's something Value Res Med or something. I don't know.
Okay, if anyone has
I don't do what I should. Like
check
you're supposed to
recall
replace it
of your face
every
mask.
30 days or something. And I use mine for like 6 months or something. But I didn't use it, so I would trip out or hallucinate like really bad, and the kids just thought it was funny. But one time I hallucinated a whole episode of Seinfeld, and it was the best episode of Seinfeld ever. I'm so
sure you
mad.
weren't really just like doing mushrooms or something?
No, I never. No. And then, like I would, and like I would just be like sitting there, kids like, "Ah, Dad's hallucinating again," and it's because I had lack of oxygen. Every morning I
Oh
wake
my
up with
God.
like headaches and like I didn't feel rested. And then I never went to the doctor. And I went to the doctor. He's like, "Oh, you have this thyroid
Maybe
problem." I was
Phillips.
like, "Hey, who cares? You know what does that do?" And he's like, "Everything." So they're like, "Take this pill." And
Yeah.
then your energy, because your metabolism is your thyroid.
Hmm.
So I have a high,
It regulates your hormones.
yeah,
It
all that. And then the
affects your
oxygen, he's like, "Hey,
energy. All of it.
you should, use the sleep thing." And then I slept for like 4 hours and I woke up and I was like, I feel like I slept for 2 days. Oh my God, what is this how regular people feel when they wake up? Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember I was having this hallucination. The kids were like stabbing me. And then I was like feeling my stomach and my pants, my, what's it called?
Your belt?
Top of your pants. Yeah.
Your waistband?
Waistband. Yeah. I feel my
Okay.
waistband and it's when my finger feels that and that's my slice open. And I'm like, why are you kids cutting my stomach open, you little shits? And they're just sitting there like, what? And then I opened my eyes and I was like, you guys trying to kill me? And they're like, no, Dad, just hallucinating again. Like, but I felt blood. You sure there's no blood? All
That's
right.
crazy.
Yeah.
Super crazy. Aussie brother says you can cure sleep apnea by learning how to breathe properly. You need to learn or train yourself to breathe through your nose. Otherwise, you're constantly in flight or fight mode. I know that it
That's what
also.
I try to do every night. I do that. I like lick my lips and try to keep my mouth closed and just breathe through my nose. And that just forces you to breathe deeper. And plus, it's like if you don't with that face machine, it just dries your mouth out.
Oh,
Like you
you
wake
don't
up
have
and
the
it's like
one with water with it. You can
no,
get like
I don't use that. I don't use that. If I did, there'd be a whole mess of things. That's when you got like
oh,
fungus can grow in it and all that, and you gotta
oh,
like disinfect it all the time and
wow,
worry about it and upkeep it.
what a
I just
nightmare.
pop it on my face and
Go to bed.
turn on the Darth Vader machine.
Crazy getting old.
I wanted
Crazy stuff.
I wanted to hit you real quick, but I've been thinking about all week. Is as you were talking about Carly, and I watched the video with you and your mom.
Mom and Carly.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and I was thinking about how when we were kids, entertainment was such much more of a big deal. Oh, yeah, I remember what happened. Me and my son Alex, he wanted to watch The Lost Boys, so we watched The Lost Boys. And the head vampire guy, he ran a video store, and I thought about like just video rentals. Yeah,
Yes, that was
it
one of
was
my first jobs.
really.
Be kind and please rewind, because I had to sit there for hours and rewind tapes when people were, coming in to buy or to rent VHS. Not just the tapes, but the machines too. That's how early it was that people were
Yeah.
renting machines too.
Well, one of my first jobs
It
was
was big,
for
big night.
was at the movie theater. I was a projectionist. God, I loved the man who gave me the job. His name was Cater. His family, pieces of shit. All of his kids are pieces of
That's
shit.
terrible.
They are terrible. Terrible human beings. But he was a good guy. But he spoiled his kids rotten to where they were all pieces of shit. But anyway, he owned like 2 video stores, and he owned the Old Cove Theater. And I got paid $1 to run the movie, to be a projectionist, an hour or no, a show. I got paid $3 to run the concession stand, $3 to clean the whole theater.
Yeah, I think I got paid back then $3 or $4 an hour. I was like 14.
Well, I think I was 16, and then
I think it's three something an
I
hour.
got paid $7 a show is what it worked out to be. But he sold me my first VCR, is one of the ones you can rent, and he was like, "This one's got a little when you hooked it up with the coax cable in the back, it started to come loose. So if he still rented it out where people were hooking it up,
It's gonna
once a
break.
day, it was
Yeah.
going to go. But he's like, if you just have it and hook it up, it'll be fine."
and just leave
So I
it
bought
alone.
that
Yeah.
from him, and then that was my first VCR. And but anyway, like you had to get off work, and you're like, hey, I want to watch a movie. So you had to go somewhere,
Go to
and then you
Blockbuster.
had to pick the movie. You had to go and find what
Mhm.
you're going to watch, and there was nothing to go off of. There wasn't like Rotten Tomatoes. All you had was a picture on the box
And read the back cover.
in the back cover, which didn't say much. It's like,
Hmm.
Variety says this sucks. It was there was not a lot, to go on. So you're like,
Yeah.
let's just watch The Godfather again. Let's go over there and get that. And then if there was a new movie that came out, you had to go down there, or else it'd be all rented out.
Yeah.
And then you go up and pay for it, and you had like popcorn and candy right there. And then you go home and you watch the movie. And it was like a production.
Yes.
Everything
When you keep
everything was
the
out.
movie all weekend long and watch it as many times as you can,
Yeah,
because it's got to be turned in by Sunday evening or something, or you're going to get an extra charge. And yeah.
but it was anything that was like listening to music. You had a whole tape that you had to listen to. You couldn't just pick your songs, or you had to make mixtapes. And then it was like, you had to buy a cassette, and you had to like learn how to either, like you record stuff from one thing to another. It was
Mhm.
Now it's like it's not just easy, but it's like it doesn't matter. It's not as big of a deal.
It's
Uh,
also why they're bored of it. Like literally, Canon has a Switch,
yeah,
which is like a little Nintendo thing. It looks
they
like
have
a
like
big
7 switches. Yeah,
long
right.
phone or something. And then he has also a phone that he watches YouTube on. And I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm playing Fortnite with my friends. And I'm like, but what are you, there's a
Yeah,
he's also watching a YouTube video of something else because he can't get enough
oh, oh,
input.
yeah, and also if you wanted to know something, you literally had to go somewhere. You had to
Mhm.
know how to use the Dewey Decimal System. You know,
In the
every now they're
library.
like, what the hell
Yeah.
is that? You had to go find the information,
Oh
and
my gosh.
it was
Yeah.
such a big. It was a thing, man.
So we went to dinner with some friends the other night, and their little girl turned, I want to say she's 8, 7 or 8. Sheridan, if you're 9, I apologize. She's tiny and adorable. But she was like, so they're telling this story. She got her first Chromebook for school.
Mhm.
And so she's talking about, oh, they're taking keyboarding and blah, blah, blah. And the dad's talking about it to us, and we're like, yeah, the kids went through it. And he's like, I mean, I remember, typing and whatever. And she says, what's a typewriter?
What's the typewriter?
Literally doesn't know what the machine is. And so he's trying to explain to her that there was paper and that you would hit a button and it would make a key come up
Mhm.
and hit the ribbon that would make the ink go on the paper. And if you messed up, you had to like either put white like paint
White
on it,
House, yeah.
or
How
you had to,
how
and
weird
she was
is
just
it?
like looking at us like we are
How weird is it that
crazy.
we think about those like IBM electric typewriters as like super advanced,
Oh yeah, that was
and
so
now
cool.
and
Or you
now
could type
think
it
they
and you
think
could like double check it. And then if it was right, that one string of
you could also
characters
like
right, you would hit
white out it.
enter and it printed just the one
But now
string.
kids think of that as the same as like an old printing press that like
Oh,
Benjamin
I'm
Franklin
sure.
used.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, so it was like a made like a printing press like
Yeah.
the founding fathers used. And they're like, no, it was super advanced, man.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
portable. It only weighed like 40 pounds.
Right.
If you were a decently strong person, you could carry it to your friends.
If you're a homeschool mom that has to carry, if you saw the bag of books that I have to take to school,
I remember
I'm
word
fine.
processors.
So heavy. Yes.
I was one of the first ones that had a word processor, and I remember I was writing a book, and I like wrote it all out on a little screen that was like 6 inches, and it was all green and black.
Yeah.
And then when I pushed for it to type, it would type for like an hour. So I would like be out there watching TV or something. My friends come over like, "Who's typing?" Oh, it's my word processor. It's just typing out a few pages of my book, man. They were like, "No, it's not." They were
They're
like, "There's a
freaked
ghost.
out.
There's a ghost typing in your typewriter, man." It's like, no, it's a word processor. You don't understand. It's
I
very
took
complicated.
a basic class in high school for coding, and it was a very similar screen. Like that's how archaic it was. It was like this, the computers were gigantic, and it was like just black screen with little green dots, and it was like if X then Y. It was all if then, basic coding, literally basic. And
When
I
I when,
thought
when I
I
went to
thought I was brilliant.
when I went to government school, I did too. We this is when I was like and it was like this critical time in my life, man. When my stupid parents made the worst decision. Because I wanted a computer, and I was in this computer club because these computers were super brand new. These were Atari computers, and I like we could do basic coding, but I could like in 5 minutes, man, I could code a digital picture, which looked like Space Invaders or something. It was like 8-bit, but I was really good at it, and I was starting to get into it. Everyone's a nerd. I was a bad kid and like a stoner partier guy. But I wanted a computer. I would have went into it 100%. I would have had a different life. And then we went away for the weekend, and I bought I bought some like big knives, and and then my mom got really pissed, and she was like, we were going to buy you that computer you wanted next week, and now we're not.
Yeah, that was a terrible choice.
I was like, why? I want the computers. Like, no, you're going to buy these knives. It's like, I smoke and I'm 12 and you don't care. Why do you care about this knife? And but nope, they didn't get the computer, so I had to find my my hobbies went elsewhere.
Yeah. So in the chat, they're talking about like their phones feeling different and feeling like they're being spied on and wanting to lay them down. And there's been several articles out about, speaking of the Chromebooks and the kids that they've been now finding that the computers have software on them that have been spying on the kids while they were at home, all this kind of stuff. And so, yeah, Shift Jeff says my hand gets
It's weird how
numb
you just
sometimes.
accept it. People, I accept it. You accept it.
Well, somebody else the other day was talking about, in our chat, was talking about frequency and how the radio frequency has changed, how
Music,
they've
yes,
changed
music has.
music
We should talk to
frequency.
Tom about that. Tom from Concern of the Governors,
Concern of
because
the
he
government.
will rant on that about how how music changed like huge just a few years ago, and it's like I think it's something like that thing that I noticed just when they started saying democratic instead of
Oh, right.
Democrat.
Hmm.
It's like some little thing that I noticed too. Like music just, and everyone's like, oh, it's all auto tune. It's all, and it's not. There's no feeling anymore. It doesn't, and that's the music. Getting back to what I was talking about, this how things don't entertainment is not that important. Can you imagine being 12 or 15 and just playing movies for background noise? No.
No.
And I'm like, the kids put on a show or whatever, it's just background.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why don't you listen to music? Where it's like,
Hmm.
no, like it's everything's so weird. And like when you watched a movie, it was like a big deal. And now it's like, hey, have you seen that movie? I really didn't like it. It wasn't that big a deal. It's like, where'd you watch? Oh, I watched on my phone.
Yeah, you were talking about this the other day about the experience, because we've changed the way we experience
Yeah.
a lot of those, the environment we've, as well.
With
Really
concerts,
has changed
going
things.
to see a band that you like in concert. When I was a kid, first off, like I worshipped these people. Literally, like I worshipped them. I had, idols all over my room. I, would go and buy anything that they would make or put out. And then to see them in real life, when I saw Motley Crue and Iron Maiden when I was 12, and I was like on the front row, it was just like I couldn't. It was surreal. It was like, oh my god, this.
So how old of Motley Crue do you like? Because I like really old, like On With the Show, that kind of old Motley Crue. I'm not as big on
They were
the
my first concert,
newer.
Motley Crue and Iron Maiden. I think I told you the story about it. I And then I went and saw them when they were supposed to do their last show, and they had the contract and all. Me and Alex went and saw them, and the seats were not great, but the venue was pretty small. So it was in Cedar Park, but there was this big platform, like right by us. It was like covered in a tarp, and like, what the hell is this? I'm like, oh, it's probably where like the sound mixers and stuff are gonna go, but then it wasn't. So then at the end of the show, they walk out and just come down through everybody, and they climb up on this little stage, which is right here.
Right by you guys.
And there's a piano on it, and they do Home Sweet Home.
Oh, how cool.
Oh, it was insane, amazing, crazy. Yeah.
That's very cool. No, you've never told me that story. That's very cool. I love it. That's super cool. Well,
yeah. And then Iron Maiden,
go
they were
make a
awesome.
drink. Live Wire, Jim says.
Live Wire. Oh yeah, that's old.
That's from the On With the Show album. It's the old. Frankie died just the other night. Some say it was suicide. I won't sing it, so I won't get.
The first album what's it called?
You know.
Computer. What was the name of Motley Crue's first album? Now you're gonna shut up. Well,
it's back when they used to be called The Crew, right? It was a different name.
Computer. What was the name of Motley Crue's first album?
Wasn't it called
Too Fast for Love?
Too Fast for Love.
Too Fast for Love, yeah.
And it was just
There you go. Now you're getting
Computer. Stop. And
Computer, you're getting me in trouble.
The picture was just a close up of the crotch. Yeah. That was.
But yeah, it had Too Fast for Love, Live Wire, Merry-Go-Round.
Merry-Go-Round, yeah. That was good.
Merry-Go-Round on it. Yeah, that's
Girls.
awesome.
There's this dude who it's amazing. This guy, it's like John McClintock or something, but he makes mashups of like different songs and puts them together, and it would be like Smokey Robinson and Girls. It's like they're so good.
Really?
They're so awesome. I could try to find it.
But then you can't play it because you'll get dinged.
I don't think I subscribed to him on I'll find it and I'll send it to you because you'll go crazy. But like it's like the Who and like Ozzy Osbourne. It's so
interesting,
and it just fits together so perfectly. He's like a genius.
Mm.
All right, well,
very interesting. Well, I'm gonna go make a drink. It's been a long day at homeschool.
I think I'm gonna. I don't know. I can't believe I played video games for that long. I set a reminder to go take a shower, and I was like, put it off. And the boys were streaming, and then they walked in, and they're like, "Don't you have a show in 20 minutes?" I was like, "No. What time is it?" Like 3:40. I was like, 2.5 hours just went by like in the blink of an eye.
It goes fast.
Damn Fallout.
Too fast. Too fast for love.
Too fast for love. All right. Well, you find find a funny video to end with. Here we go. Love y'all. Hey man, I'm telling you, man, you gotta get yourself some of that Bitcoin, man. You go on the internet, you click